Hey, greetings everyone. It's Glenn Kellaway from the basement. It is Friday, just after lunch as I'm recording this. Um, I've been thinking about doing this video for a couple of weeks now and trying to figure out how to do it because it's kind of a convoluted, circuitous, freaking long winding road of stuff. I'm going to talk eventually, at the end of this, I'm going to be talking about Genesis. But I need to talk about my musical journey from the 70s to current time before I can get to Genesis. I'll start off that way. So I'm going to start off in the 70s. Now, in the early 70s, young Glenn Kellaway, I was like 20 years old in 1973. So 18 to 20, whatever, 22, say, 70, 74. I am not a prog rock guy. I liked King Crimson's first album, and then really I didn't listen to them for quite some time. And I loved Jethro Tull. I never associated either of them with rock. I just thought they were good rock albums. I never knew. I never thought. I still have a hard time saying Jethro Tull's a progressive rock band. Anyway, so I was into the Stones and Zeppelin and the Faces and just the good rock and stuff. I thought prog rock was pretty pretentious. Especially hated Yes and especially hated Genesis. Yes, I just hated John Anderson's voice, and I just couldn't understand the music. My musical ears were just not developed enough when I look back now. Genesis, one thing that turned me off is every time I saw a picture of I didn't know any of their names, but every time I saw a picture of their lead vocalist, he had like a flower outfit on or something, and I thought this is stupid. So I just felt they were just dumb and stupid and pretentious, and I didn't want anything to do with them. So I don't know any of their names. I know nothing about Genesis. Okay, get the idea. 1981. Now it's 1981. A song comes out that I just frickin' love, and it's called "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins. I frickin' love the song. I think I heard it about 6 times in the radio before I finally went, "Who is that?" And when I found out it was Phil Collins, I still didn't associate him with Genesis because I didn't have a clue. I just thought Phil Collins was some new dude out with a great song, and I still love that song. And I have the Face Value album that came out on. The rest of the albums, I mean, there's a couple of good tracks, but I can't listen to it. It's kind of dated. But I still love that song, "In the Air Tonight." Great frickin' track. So that. I'm not sure if anybody told me that the guy was in Genesis or not. I don't know. Now I got to go to 1986. We're skipping 5 years, and I've become a Phil Collins fan. That's kind of the early 80s. He put out a lot of good stuff, I think, for the time. But seriously, folks, and I forget the name of the other one. There was like 2 or 3 of his first albums. I loved them. So anyway, 1986. I still remember being in a record store in Peace River, Alberta, and Village Sound it was called. And they're playing an album, and they're playing a song, and it's Sledgehammer. And you know what my first thought was? It was Huey Lewis and the News. It has that pop rock sound. It's different for Peter Gabriel. It's not like when you go back now that I've gone back and very familiar with Peter's catalog. I think that song is kind of just a straight ahead pop rock song. So anyway, and Huey Lewis was pretty big around there with the sports album and all that. So anyway, I buy that album just because I love that song so much. I'm still not sure I know Peter Gabriel's in Genesis. And I love the album. It was great. I loved "Don't Give Up," the duet with Kate Bush. I mean, just still one of my favorite tracks of all time. Sledgehammer's great. The album really grew on me. I liked it. Now I didn't buy go back and delve into Peter's catalog off that. But let's go later that year into 1987. I got a friend who owns a record store in Grand Prairie, Alberta, and he turns me on to this artist. One of the reasons he turned me on to them was because of the album covers. The album covers are really cool, and the artist is Anthony Phillips. Now check out these album covers. They're freaking awesome. And they're good albums. Really good. Bought that. Parts and Pieces Part 2. Again, they're just the coolest covers. And that's the reason I bought the albums, actually. And I freaking really like these albums. I think at that point, my buddy might have mentioned that this guy was from Genesis. Maybe. I'm not sure. So now, you think about it, I don't like Genesis, but I'm listening to Phil Collins, Peter Gabriel, and Anthony Phillips. 3 members of Genesis, who I don't know are members of Genesis, probably. Then, we flash forward to the early 2000s. My musical ears are open pretty wide, and I'm listening to a lot of jazz and, stuff like that. So I think maybe it's time to give Yes another try. And I get the Yes album. And bang, an epiphany, a musical epiphany. This album's freaking brilliant. I loved it. I don't say why. What didn't I like about this? This is incredible. It was like just mind-blowing good. Got Close to the Edge, got Tales, Topographic Oceans, became a huge Yes fan. If you list my top 10 bands of all time, Yes is in there. Love them. So I'm listening to Yes. Listen to a bit more I start to get into King Crimson. I start huge King Crimson fan. Another top 10 band. I went back and got their whole catalog when their 40th anniversary stuff was coming out. Oh man, I was all over it. So the years are opening up. This is around 2004. 2017, 13 years later. Now that I'm listening to a lot more prog and stuff like that, I heard good things about this album. The Night Siren by Steve Hackett. I don't know Steve Hackett. I don't know who the hell Steve Hackett is. But I heard this is a really good record. So I bought the CD, and I really liked it. I think it's a great record. I love it. This is 2017. So from then, looking around, you find a couple other used stuff. I found Voyage of the Acolyte, which I think is great. I love this album too. Probably more than the Night Siren, but I love them both. Man, then I start seeing all these Steve Hackett live albums out, and I'm going, he's doing Genesis stuff, and I'm going, well, I'm going to give one a try. First one I bought was this one, Genesis Revisited, live at Hammersmith. This is freaking, I really liked it. And I'm going, man, how come I don't like Genesis? This had all kinds of guest artists on it, I believe this one does. Could I be wrong? Maybe I'm wrong. One of them does. I don't know. It's not important. So anyway, so after that, I slowly start to give the Genesis albums a try. Just quietly to myself. I don't say anything about it. I listened to Foxtrot, didn't like it. Selling England by the Pound, liked it. I should say I really liked Phil Collins led Genesis. Now that I was very familiar with. So that to me that was what's his name? Mike and the Mechanics guy, Mike Rutherford, and Phil Collins and that they were Genesis to me. I really like that stuff. I know a lot of people slam it, but Invisible Touch and Land of Confusion, Follow You, Follow Me. I Know What I Like. Well, that's an old song. Tonight, Into Deep, Misunderstanding. I like that stuff. Sorry. Okay. So, like I said, I've listened to a bit of Genesis now. Hit and miss. I don't hate it, but it's not exciting me at all. Now we're going to flash forward to October 2023. We're getting pretty recent here. I go to Massey Hall and see Steve Hackett live. Now I've have probably 3 or 4 of those live albums, and I'm loving them. Steve Hackett's like I'm excited to see him. See him blown away. What a band! Great. They did Foxtrot in its entirety. I gained a whole new respect for that album. Supper's Ready, which is a song I thought was just the most pretentious, bloated thing ever. I listened to it live and I'm going, wow, that's a really great song. I go home and I put Foxtrot on. I have it on vinyl just to show you. You got to show records on these things. There's Foxtrot. And I immediately went, that's a great frickin' album. I love this record. And now I'm going, wow, maybe I'm liking Genesis. Yeah, Supper's Ready. Just a killer track, like 22, 23 minutes. Watcher of the Skies is a great track. I mean, it's just a really good album. I'm listening to Nursery Crimes. Excellent album. I like it. I got this on the Phillips label, whatever the heck that is, but I'm liking Nursery Crimes. Not as much as Foxtrot, but I like it. I'm going, geez, what's happening to me? I'm starting to come around here. Wow. Then I'm listening to Selling England by the Pound. Awesome. Twist of the Tail. I just picked it up on vinyl the other day, but I had it on CD. I know Steve Hackett's on this. It's Phil Collins led. I should need to give it some more listens, but I certainly didn't dislike it. One I really loved and didn't bring over was Wind and Wuthering. I just heard that for the first time about 3 weeks ago, maybe. Absolutely love that album. I've played it 2 or 3 times since then. This is the Mind Blower, an album that I always said was one of the most overrated pieces of crap ever. The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway. I've listened to this album, I'm going to say, all the way through at least 3 times in the past week. And I am really coming around on this album. This is a pretty good frickin' album. Now, I don't know what the hell they're going on about. I'm not going to pretend to describe what this album, if there's some kind of concept to it or not. I haven't got a clue. Musically, I'm really coming around to it. It's a lot edgier than I thought, than I remembered ever being, hearing little pieces of it. And so even disc 2 or side 4, 3 and 4 on the album, people will say is not as good as the. So I thought it was great. So, man, I'm even coming around on Lamb. So this is crazy. And now, recently, I've already shown it and did a thing on it, but the new Steve Hackett album, I can't tell you how, this is a great, great record. The Circus and the Night Whale. Loving this album. So that's my journey. In 13 minutes, I've covered from 1970 to 2024. So I hope you stuck with me through this. And I get a gold star for perseverance. I'll tell you that. Anyway, you guys have a great day, and we'll be back on the weekend. Take care.